With the rise of new categories such as the sonic branding, that technology is playing an increasingly important role in shaping the creative industry. We're going to have to chat to my guest right now. Thank you so much for joining us on Tech Africa. And this is the CEO, Preetesh Sewraj, who's joining me right now. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me on.
This is quite exciting. Everybody loves the Loeries, and I was just having a chat with my colleague earlier on and say, both of us haven't been to the Loeries, and we are missing out. But I like this approach that we are seeing happening in the creative industry, with tech also being recognized with the role that it plays in the creativities. I'd like to find out specifically, though, the theme. This is tough. So are you for this year? It's quite cool. I like it. Tell us about the thinking behind that.
Yeah, so I mean, the theme overall is really something that we use to galvanize the industry and get them really, really excited about what's happening and give them a rallying cry. So actually, the theme this year is the great hunger, actually. So it's really about this great hunger that the industry has to create great work. It's a hunger that everyone has to really make a difference and do something amazing, and that's what we'll be celebrating this year.
How does it reflect the current state of brand communication in the continent, as well as in the Middle East?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the key things that we're finding right now, if you look at our region as Africa and the Middle East, we tend to find there's a lot more struggle, there's a lot more challenges that we have, more diversity in terms of languages, but also in terms of the budgets that are available to create work. So it's always a challenge to be able to reach consumers and have the right kind of communication. And so one of the things we're doing is this rallying cry to say that despite anything that we may see as a challenge, how do we keep pushing forward? How do we like find that motivation inside us to do something really, really amazing? And that's what we're looking for.
What inspired the changes, and how do you expect the changes to impact the submission and the winners this year?
Yeah, I mean, evolution and innovation is important. So one of the key things that we always remind people is you cannot win a Loerie if you don't demonstrate innovation. So
Mm.
as an organization, innovation is so important. And therefore, one of the things we do is we're continuously innovating in terms of the judging, in terms of the categories, these new categories that we've just launched as well. And ultimately, in that process, what happens is we get more entries in from more diverse kind of countries and different regions, and we're able to really celebrate that all of us are on the same journey. Despite our language differences, despite our country differences, we all are part of the same human journey.
Mm. You have also introduced this year the B2B creativity category, and you've also expanded the media innovation category. Tell us a bit more about this.
Yeah, the key goal, as I said, as part of this innovation is to recognize where the work's been done. So when we look at where the work is coming from in these kind of different spaces, that's where we're actually going. Some of the other spaces that we see this too is like in comedic impact. We all want great ads that are funny, that are really nice. Also in terms of new launches that are happening, those new launch campaigns, and also evolving media innovation where, there's so much innovation within the media space right now and being able to recognize that right now there's a greater degree of businesses speaking to each other. So evolving that in the way that we have business to business creativity. So we look at all of these different levels and we celebrate it because again, by doing so, we ensure better communication for consumers, better communication for those that are actually consuming all of this brand communication.
Mm. And what role does the sonic branding play specifically in shaping brand identity in today's digital landscape? And why was it included this year as one of the categories?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, one of the first bits of sonic branding all of us remember is if you think about Intel Inside, and that when they were doing their ads and stuff. So it's no longer just a visual representation of a brand, but also about how does that brand sound to us. And in a medium like radio, this is so important right now to really reinforce your brand identity. And therefore, sonic branding is one of those spaces where we're going, as brands are going this journey to celebrate their identity in a very audible kind of sense,
Mm.
that we want to make sure that audible journey that they're going on is something we recognize, celebrate, and also stimulate and ensure more brands go down this journey.
All right. I want to go and have a look at the Creative Week, and maybe have a look at how it is able to showcase the intersection of technology and the creativity, which is the main reason why we're having this conversation. There's also events like the Loeries Expo as well as the master classes.
Yeah, I mean, from a tech perspective, one of the things we do is we ensure that there's a lot of tech partners and different people. So a brand you may have never heard of is called Aleph, because this is not a very consumer brand, but you're going to have representation coming in from them, where they bring in Spotify, they bring in X. You're also going to have TikTok. So TikTok for Business is a partner of the Loeries. So all of them are bringing in like different conversations. So you're going to hear how TikTok is really evolving and doing lots of amazing things. But on the other hand, you'll hear how in a very text-based place, you've got brands like Twitter who are actually, or X, should I say,
Mm.
are actually doing a lot of more creative things in those kind of spaces. So tech is front and center. We have a separate digital category that we award as well. So anyone who's interested in the tech space will have a very rich and rewarding experience at the Loeries.
For people that are listening now and they would love to go check these exciting not installations but showcases, how long does the Creative Week last, and when does it start and end?
Yeah, so creative,
It's seven
remind me
days
as I lose my voice.
because
Yeah,
it's
it
weeks, so it
starts
will be
really.
7 days, ne?
It is 7 days. It's running from the 5th to the 10th of October in the
Uh,
city of Cape Town. And everyone's invited. You're welcome to come along. So the key public facing starts from the 8th of October at the Homecoming Center. It's free to enter those events. So you'll be able to come and visit the expo free of charge. And there's a nominal ticket price if you want to attend the master classes and the seminars and the awards and all of this as well. And you can find out more details on loeries.com. That's Loeries.com. And we are a non-profit organization. So every single rand we earn goes back into supporting the brand communications industry to create better work for everyone who's out there.
mhm. And lastly, Pritesh, looking ahead, what trends do you see at the intersection of technology as well as creativity in the brand communication industry in Africa, as well as in the Middle East?
Yeah, the biggest trend is obviously generative AI and the impact that it has on brand communication right now. So
Mm.
we tend to, even as the Loeries, we have in our entries, we ask all entrants to advise us on how they've used generative AI in the work that's happening. We're at that state of flux right now where this work is really being influenced by generative AI, and we're seeing this trend where you're going to have a lot more generative AI coming out. So that'll be part of the discussions that are happening during Loeries Creative Week. It'll be happening in the judging room itself, but this is the biggest tech trend right now, and a
Mm.
lot of the work you're going to see is going to be enhanced by generative AI.
That's true. That's true. I think it's quite exciting this year, I must say. I mean, it has always been exciting to be part of the Loeries, but I think this year is going to be just amazing. So many creative things happening, and but the creatives themselves, man, it's just so much beauty. Thank you so much for talking to us. And where can we keep tabs on what's happening with the Loeries on social
Best
media?
spot is it's social media, and you can find all of it, and you can link to it from loeries.com, and you can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, on X, on TikTok. So we're everywhere, but loeries.com is your starting point.
All right. Thank you so much once again for engaging us this morning.
Thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure.
So now, if you were not sure if you want to be part of this year's Loeries, well, you have to go, man. Hey, Cape Town is also a bit far, man. I just thought about it. I'm like, that would be so nice to do. Something that one always has on their to-do list and never really get to doing. But then it's going to be in Cape Town. So Cape Townians, go over there. Share with us, please. Be live so that we can live vicariously through you guys. Because I'm sure, I mean, I can imagine, especially with the creations behind generative AI, just the creativity is just boundless, limitless. There's so much that people can do with that, especially if they're inspired. And that was the CEO, Preetesh Sewraj, this morning from the Loeries. It is now 10:23 Central African Time.